This conference will now be recorded.
So now, in the last class, we have seen about your for loop, how to use your for loop. We have seen how to use the for loop, and inside the for loop, we have seen how to call a function module or how to write a select query, and then we also see how to use the for loop inside a for loop. So these are the things which we have discussed in the last class. So before we go ahead and start with our today's session, any questions, Ashmi? Any questions?
No, Rakesh.
Okay. So now in today's class, we will be seeing something called as, so the final statement, something called as reduce. The final statement, something called as reduce. So this is mainly used to get the quantity. This is used to get the totals, I would say, the totals of quantity or the price So for this, we can go ahead and use the reduce operator. So how can you get your reduce operator is this one. So now the same thing I can also replace with a new select statement. The same thing I can also replace with a new select statement using the keywords, by using a keyword called as sum. By using a keyword called as your sum. So how you have to use this, that we are going to see in your today's session. So let me log on to SAP. So now let me go to SE38. In a meanwhile, let me also open our running notes. So reduce. So before we go ahead with this, the reduce operator, let me tell you what is a statement we have to use the reduce. DRAM example on reduce operator. So click on create. Operator, I'll be taking this as executable program and I'm just saying it into my local object. I'm going to have my own standard page heading, and then let me tell you the syntax. Mainly we will use for calculations of total price and total amount. Total price and total amount, we will be using this. So I need to have a variable. So data gv underscore sum is equal to, you need to use the reduce. The first thing. So previously what we are using for loop or anything, we are using value hash. But in case of reduce, we will always use reduce and hash. The hash is a generic. If you want, you can provide your data element or your table type or whatever you want, and open the braces. Open your braces. So now the first thing is, so before we go ahead with this, kindly tell you my old syntax. So the old syntax, what you will be doing, loop at internal table into the work area. So now what you will be doing, so you will be defining a variable. So data of gv underscore variable type, let's take, I'm going with dmbtr. So, and you will be writing clear gv underscore your variable. So this is what. So now what you will be doing, so you are looping this, and what you will be doing, gv underscore variable is equal to, what you will be writing, gv underscore variable plus work area hyphen the amount. So this is what you will be doing in case of your old syntax. So now the same thing I want to replace with my reduce. I want to replace with my reduce statement. So now data of gv underscore gv underscore sum, the final value. The final value is equal to reduce hash. And what you have done, firstly, you have initialized your variable. So that's what I'm going to do. In order to do that, I need to use a initialize my variable. So gv underscore variable type dmbtr. So you can provide your data element or predefined type. You can provide the data element slash your predefined type. So this is what I have provided. So data type predefined type. See, I have provided data element table name, and then you need to start loop. So this you are looping. So the replacement of your loop and end loop is your for. So gs underscore work area in gt underscore itab. For gs underscore work area in gt underscore itab, if you have a condition, you go ahead and pass your conditions. So restricting of your data, go ahead and pass your conditions, and then for using for in order to pass this variable, you need to use a condition called as next. You need to use a condition called as your next. The next will tell us the next iteration, what it has to do. Gv underscore variable is equal to gv underscore variable plus gs underscore work area hyphen your amount. Gs underscore work area hyphen your amount. This is your reduce condition. This is your reduce. Okay, clear with this? So this is how. So see, the same thing we are trying to loop it, and we are going to pass it over here. We are trying to loop it and we are going to pass it over here. So first of all, I have initialized my variable, and now it's time for me to loop. So loop, so the replacement of your loop is with your for work area in internal table. If I have a where conditions over here, the same thing, the where conditions over here. So pass your where condition, and then the same, how it has to calculate, how it has to append to the same variable what you have initialized. How it has to append. In order to do that, we will be using a we have to use a variable, we have to use a keyword called as your next. And then whatever the logic I have written the same logic over here. I have written the same logic. Now, my question is, can I use this reduce operator, reduce operator one inside a for loop, inside a for loop, inside a for loop. So can I use a reduce operator? Yes or no? Can I use or can't I? I can't able to use that. Say it's okay. Yes, no, maybe, may not. I'm not going to pull you or I'm not going to. Uh, I'm not going to say anything. I'm just asking you. Say yes or no.
Not sure on that, Rakesh.
Okay, very good. So we can use it. Yes, because see, this is a variable I'm filling it. Now, even in my final internal table, I need to fill my amount. I need to fill my amount. So then how can you do that? I need to fill my total amount. Total amount. So then we have to use. So all over the operators which I have told, we can use that inside your for loop. Remember that. Whatever the operators we have seen till now, whether it can be a formatting statements, whether it can be a read statements, whether it can be a conversion statements, whether it can be a convert statements, or when it can be a concatenate statements, and it can be a method, anything you can use inside your for loop. You can use inside your for loop. Now let's see the requirement. So this is how you need to write your code. Now let's see a requirement. A requirement. Now I need to get the following details. I need to get the following details from VBAP table. I just want the following details. One is the sales order number, which is VBLN, and the next one is sum of, so sum of the NETWR for that particular sales order, for that particular sales order number. So that means, let me open my Excel sheet. I do have my sales order. I do have my item number, and I do have my price for that item. So let's take for sales order A, line item 10, the amount is 100. Now for sale order A, item 20, so the amount is 200. Sale order B, item 10, the amount is 100. Sale order B, item 20, the amount is 200. Now the output I want it as sales order, and then I want the price. So that means for sale order, what is my price? 300. And for B, what is my price? Let's this is also here 300, or let me take this as 300, and then the amount must be your 500. So this is what my requirement. So I have the details in this, but my output I need to show it as this one. So this, the first thing we will be seeing with the help of reduce, and then we will be seeing with the help of your sum. Okay, so now let's go ahead and see with the help of your reduce statement. Now, so as we are going to fill this final internal table, so I need a types declaration. So types begin of GTY underscore final. So VBLN type VBLN underscore VA, and ETWR type VBAP hyphen NATWR, and end of GTY underscore my final. So now, so I'm just going to create my table types. So GTT underscore final type standard table of GTY underscore the final. Now I need my data declarations. So data GT underscore final type GTT underscore your final. Now I'm going with my startup selection. I'm going with my startup selection. Do your pretty printer? Let's go with your startup selection. Now let me get the details. So select VBELN POSNR, comma, and then what is the next one? Oh, NETWR from VBAP into table at the rate data of GT underscore VBAP where, so I can say up to 5,000 rows, up to 5,000 rows. Now I need to fill my final internal table. Final internal table. So how you have to do it? So you need to fill, so see here, now what I will be having this one. So if I loop this one, so you can calculate your entire amount. You can calculate your entire amount, but based upon the sales order level, I want to calculate based upon the sales order level. So now what I will do, I will go ahead and create a temporary table. So data of GT underscore VBAP underscore temp is equal to GT underscore VBAP. Then I will say delete adjacent duplicates from GT underscore VBAP hyphen temp comparing VBELN. Before that, let me also do the order by VBELN. Order by, so the replacement of sort statement. Order by is the replacement of the sort statement. Replacement of your sort statement. Even you can say descending. By default, it will be taking it as descending. If you want ascending, you can write it ascending also. You can write it ascending also. So by automatically SAP will do the sorting condition. You don't need to write again your sort. Okay. Now, so now in this temporary table, we will be having in this temp table, we will be having the unique sales order numbers. Now, final internal table. I'll just go ahead with my old style. How you will be writing? So I'll just say loop at GT underscore VBAP underscore temp into data of, or else I'll be saying this as assigning field symbol LFS temp. Now what I will do, I will go ahead and loop my final table again. Loop at GD underscore VBAP into or assigning field symbol. So LFS underscore VBAP where VBELN is equal to LFS underscore temp hyphen VBELN. And now my final table. I need to work with my final table. So what I need to do? So I need to have my work area also. So I'm just going to have my GS underscore final type GTY underscore final. So I'm going to have my work area. So GS underscore final hyphen NETWR is equal to GS underscore final hyphen NETWR plus LFS underscore VBAP hyphen NETWR. Then at last, sorry, okay, at last, and then we need to use and then you need to say GS underscore final hyphen VBLN is equal to GS underscore final, sorry, LFS underscore VBAP hyphen VBLN, and then you will be writing append GS underscore final into GT underscore final, and then I will be saying clear GS underscore final. So this is what you have to do it in case of your things. So 1 second, guys. This is what you have to do it in case of your older style. Old style. Maybe you can also use it in a different way. I have to use it a different way. Okay. Now, once we got the details, we'll be going and displaying that. Now, the same thing I'm going to replace that with my for loop. With my for loop. So, what is my final table? GT underscore final is equal to value hash. Value hash, and open this bracket for LFS underscore temp in GT underscore VBAP underscore temp GT underscore VBAP underscore temp, and then you need to write for okay. And then I'm just going to write my VBLN is equal to LFS underscore temp hyphen VBLN. Now the next one is your NETWR. NETWR reduce hash, or you can say VBAP hyphen NETWR. Anything is fine, and then you need to initialize. I'm just initializing a variable, so I'll say gv underscore amount type VBAP hyphen NETWR, and then for LFS, one second guys. Okay, so first, what is the next one? LFS underscore VBAP in GT underscore, sorry, LFS underscore VBAP in GT underscore VBAP, where VBLN, so you need to write that in your brackets, is equal to, so what is my condition? LFS temp hyphen VBELN. The same thing I'm writing. I'm not doing any other thing. Then I need to use next GV underscore AMT is equal to GV underscore AMT plus what is the name? LFS underscore VBAP hyphen your NETWR. So that's it. So now that's it. We are done with your new syntax. So this is how you can use your reduce. So I'm just writing the same thing in my old syntax and then replacing that with your new syntax. How can you use that? So I just want to show you how to use your reduce operator inside your for loop. So once this is done, I would say display the data. Display the data. So CL underscore demo underscore output hyphen your display. So now here, what I'm going to write, I'm going to provide my GD underscore final. Now do your pretty printer. Let's get check this. So let's get check this. Table row has to be specified. Happened. I forgot to put in prices over here as it is a for loop. Now let's check this. That's it. Now let's get activated. Now if I say click on execute, you will be seeing the amounts, the total amounts it is calculating and it is displaying. The total amounts it's got calculated and it's got displayed. So this is how you have to use your reduce operator. This is how you have to use your reduce operator. So clear with this? Any questions? Lakshmi and Rashmi, any questions?
Yeah, Rakesh, like in the old syntax and all, is it preferable to use loop inside a loop?
So if you don't have any other option, what you will be going in. So that's what I just want to show you. This is an example. But if I don't
Okay.
have enough, see, we have, see, there are chances where we have to use loop inside a loop. Inside a loop. We don't have any other source. We don't have any other source. But when you are using a loop inside a loop, we will be using something called as parallel processing. Parallel processing or parallel technique, something that the name I forgot.
Parallel cursor.
Yeah,
Cursor.
parallel cursor. So we will be using the parallel cursor method. So what we will be using? So we will be reading the value from the main internal table, and with the help of the index, we will be getting the data. So like this, you can use your parallel cursor technique. So if you don't have any other option, you have to go ahead and use. There are so many places where we will be using a loop inside a loop, loop inside a loop, loop inside a loop. So, but if you are facing some, still if you are facing any issues, this is what. So if you are, so what is the main issue? What is the main reason we will not prefer loop inside a loop is the performance, the performance. So it will take more performance. So we are going to check on everything. So to avoid checking every record, we will be using something called as a parallel cursor. Parallel cursor. So you have to go ahead and read. You have to go ahead and read the table, and with the help of your index, you have to go ahead and fetch the records from the next table. That is called as your parallel cursor. So these are some of the improvements you have to do it in your real time when you are using a loop inside a loop. Now, in this case, can I use a parallel cursor or parallel thing? So SAP will take care of it. You don't need to worry about that. You don't need to worry about. Okay,
Yeah,
clear?
okay. Yeah, clear. And reduce operator is it similar to collect and all? Collect, where for collect and all also it will try
Yeah.
to sum up the entries.
Right. So you can use. See, reduce, it is used to give you the count. It can give you the count. So based upon this sales order, I want to know how many list of number of items that are there in my main table. I want to find out how many number of items that are there. So that then also you can use your reduce operator. So how many
Okay.
lines for the particular sales order. So like this. So there are so many ways where you can use your reduce operator, but majorly in real time, we will try to use the reduce operator for calculating the amounts and calculating the total prices.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Now, as I was telling you, in S4 or from ECC, ECC, EHP8 onwards, EHP8 onwards, S in in the in the select query itself, we can ask SAP to do the sum. So these are all your aggregation operators. So what are your aggregation operators? Aggregation operators. So one is your minimum, maximum, sum, average, average. So these are the four operators I want to, with the help of this, we can ask SAP to get this. Now let's suppose I want to get the last record for this particular condition. For this particular sales order, I want to get the last record from the internal table. I want to get the last record from my database. Based upon the sales order, I want to get the last record. Only the last record I want to fetch, or only the first record I want to fetch, or I want to calculate the entire sum, or I want to calculate the average of that sales order. So let's say the item. So this is the average of 100 and 200 is 150. 150. So 300 and 200 is 250 is your average. So I want to do that. So the minimum, so that if I want to get the minimum is this one. If I want to get the maximum is this one. If I want to do the sum, so I want to get this. So these are some of the things that SAP has been provided. So now let's go ahead and see that one. Okay. Now, so the first thing I'm going to see with your sum. With your sum. So now the select statement, how you have to write your statement. So this, whatever the statement which I'm going to tell you, the statement will be used in ECC and S4. You can use this same statement in ECC and S4 also, but in S4 we have a different syntax too. We have a different select statement. Different select statement. So that I will be covering you after your CDS views. After your CDS views, then I will be covering to you. Now, how can you use this? So select, what is my field? FIBLN, and then you need to use sum. Sum of NETWR. So NETWR, as you need to provide when you are using any aggregation operators or any concatenate operators or any trimming operators, so that we will be seeing in your future the concatenations. How can you concatenate? How can you trim and everything? So whatever you are using, you need to provide a alias name, because we are asking to do the sum where that value has to be stored, where that the output value has to be shown. So we will always use the same field from VBAP into table at the rate data of GT underscore VBAP1 up to 5,000, up to 1,000 rows, I would say 1,000 rows. Now on which field you want to do the sum. So the NET-PR has to be summed based on your sales order number. So based on your sales order number, it has to sum. So that you need to provide in group by clause. Group by, on which area you want to group the entire details. On which area you want to group the entire details. Now my grouping is on my VBA-LN. So that's what I told you. So in the output, I need my VBA-LN and NET-PR. So based upon your sales order number, I'm just calculating my entire sum. So the same thing we are going to see it over here, VBA-LN. So that's it. And now if I say, so let me activate my code and let me execute the code. I'll take a screenshot of this. So to see whether both the values are coming up correctly or not. Okay, to see whether both the values are coming up correctly or not. So let me close this, and then what I will do, I'll just go ahead and comment the entire code. I'm not going to use this entire code from now onwards. Now I'll just comment this one, and then I will say CL underscore demo underscore output, and I'll be saying this as display. And here I'll be just writing my internal table. So GT underscore VBAP. Now I'll do my pretty printer and I'll activate my code. And now if I click on execute, see the same thing, 5550 328 32838 122 00 2640 for the same amount, whatever the amount. So now see here, now when you are writing this statement, the summing will be happening. The above statement, the sum will be happen inside the database. So that is what called as your code push down. Code push down technique. Code push down technique. The summing will be happen. The summing will be happen inside your database. See, when you are doing this on the application layer, it has taken some good amount of time. But when you push it to your database layer, see, within a blink of an eye, you got your detail. You got your detail. Okay, so that is what you need to do your code push down technique. Okay, clear with this? So now, in the same way, try to do it for your minimum, your maximum, and average. Okay, so the requirements are. So let me write down the requirements in your same thing. So this is how you have to use. See here, I'm using a concatenate. So this is the new statement. Select from. We will be using the select from, and you will be using the fields. This is your S4 syntax. This is your S4 syntax. So that I will be telling you when we started with your once we have completed your S4. Once we have completed your CDS views. The same thing. See, we have used the reduce operator and I have given the same requirement, and I ask you to do. I asked my team to do it, but anyways, I have told you. Now coming to the requirement. Requirement. So try to do it. Try to do it, ladies, so that you can know how to use this statement. So based on the date, I want to know what is the first sales order created, and what is the last sales order number. What is the first sales order number and what is the last sales order number, and what is the average of amount we have sold on that particular day. On that we have created the sales order on that particular day. So this is what. So that means I want my first sales order number. The table name is VBAK. So for the first two requirements, that means for first sales order, and the last sales order, and for average table name VBAP for average. So on that particular day, get me all the sales orders and do the sum on VBAP. So with the help of your for all entries also, you can write your sum. Or with the help of your joins also you can write your sum. I'm just giving this deadline as 7th April 2023. So try to complete this and come back with me your answers. Delete. Cut. Okay, so this is what your requirement is. Clear with the requirement? Any questions, girls? Ashwini and Lakshmi, any questions?
Yeah, Rakesh, like I did not get the server access, so in my company laptop and all, we will not using this.
You can use your sandbox. You can do that. So in your company, when you are using your client thing, I would always say to create your program with Y. So most people will start with the Z. It's the program. So you can say Y test underscore your name. I used to do the same thing, and I used to store that in my local object.
Yes, but we will not be, we will be handling only master data like customer suppliers and materials and VBAP, VBAK tables and all we will not be using.
Do you have
Like
the
we will not
purchase?
have any data.
Do you
Hello?
have the purchase KKO and EKPO?
No, we
Okay,
will have
so
like customer
normally,
suppliers. Like,
yeah. So yeah, I think you are working on mostly on your master data related stuff, but these tables
yes.
will be available in your in your system. Go ahead and check that. If it is not available, anyways, you can reach out to Rafi. He is already there in the group. I go here and if I click on this one, so is the person version 80 Rafi. So you can see this guy. So or you can just say at the rate Rafi, can you please provide me the server access? He can able to provide you. So for server related thing, you can ask Rafi. Even for S4 also, we will be giving you in another 10 days. So once I have completed the required other details, how to install your SAP HANA Studio, how to log on to SAP HANA Studio, and all these things. Once everything is got completed, then I will go ahead and ask Rafi to share the S4 access with you also. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Clear? Clear?
Yeah,
Okay.
clear.
So that's all for today. So try to complete these requirements, and by this, almost 90% of the regular syntaxes we have been covered, and there is only one more syntax called as your group by, loop at group by clause. So how can we avoid control break statements in your for loop? How can you avoid control break statements inside your for loop? That I'll be taking up at a later point of time. Once after your select statements are completed, then I'll be going to take the up. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you all.